sun was falling and the clouds had gathered. It was time to return home. I began walking, gravel crunching under my feet, and made my way through a garden of weeds and thorns, and then onto a once familiar street I now barely recognized. It was not really a street anymore, but rather an alley, a narrow passageway of dirt and broken gravel wedged between two white walls that stretched far into the distance. Painters swept colors of every shade onto the walls, creating murals that half glowed like windows letting in whatever remained of the fading light. And the shapes they painted looked vaguely like houses, horse-drawn carriages, and town squares where vendors wandered, arms outstretched with their offerings of heat and steam and light from the glowing stones of age. And then I saw the Trojan horse with Troy in a gray shroud in the background. And on the opposite wall, Mnemosyne was speaking to Proust through a veil of rain. In the foreground, her daughter Calliope stood watching me pass, writing of my travels on a granite slate she held in front of herself like a mirror. Through the drizzle and mist, shiny cars sped by, all nearly bursting with the crowds they carried as they moved at the speed of culture. Time rotated through my veins and escaped through the top of my head in the form of blue translucent birds with wings of wire and smoke. Some of the paint on the walls was now melting in the mist, forming into my own memories of disconnections, of isolation, and of differences which were not so unique, and of the land and the fire and the rain and the stars where I retreated when the shelters collapsed. I stopped and watched the hunched man half hidden inside a hood, painting circles that became faces when he enclosed them in a dark outline he called death. That's how they know who they are, he told me. And then the drizzle turned to rain, and the rain turned the street into a river. I stood there for a long time and watched the water rise until I slowly remembered that this was the way I once had ventured out to sea.